it done, but yeah, it's like I've never done gaming or anything. Like I watched it or anything
Oh,
like
so this is
that.
a
So
whole new experience
I was
now.
like, yeah, I had to learn a lot.
Oh, that's interesting. Usually they do it on like Google Meet or something, or like
Well, yeah,
Google
remote,
Microsoft
but
Teams or
to
something.
stop then people being in a meeting, I can stream it live, and then they can see it, and then they can't interact with anything I say.
Okay.
So
Okay.
mostly for me. I've been doing it long enough to know that stakeholders love to
Interact.
interrupt.
Ask an extra
Yeah,
question.
no, we don't like that. Okay, fab. All happy enough. Okay, so just a couple of questions just to get started. Sorry, just ignore me. Can I ask, who do you currently hold credit cards with?
Aqua,
Okay.
Capital.
And Capital One.
Yeah, and Halifax.
Okay. And why did you select these?
Why?
Yeah.
The first two were like credit builder credit cards. Maybe like 5 years ago, just to get my credit up.
Okay. So credit builders and Halifax.
And Halifax was because they had an interest-free period,
Okay.
so like short-term loan.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your thoughts on kind of the service that they provide?
As in, like, is it good? Is it bad?
Yeah,
sort
like
of
what are
thing?
your thoughts on it? Like how do you like using them?
Yeah, they're pretty easy. Like they have apps to manage everything, so it's always been pretty easy. You have the choice of like paper statements and online statements. So yeah, and then most of them have is it equi? You know, like a credit builder, credit score kind of checker linked to it in some way. Equifax, that's it. In some ways that you do have the option to link them and like monitor everything. So yeah, I'm happy with my experience with both. I got quite big increases in credit with Aqua relatively quickly, which was nice.
Okay. And kind of what's your knowledge? Oh, sorry, let me rephrase that. How do you think having a credit card kind of affects you in your financial landscape? What's your understanding of that?
Helps to build credit so that in future it's cheaper to take loans. I know in future, I know people that have a lot of money, they tend to spend from their credit versus their debit, so that they can get the benefits of like extra points, etc. So I'd love to work my way up to be able to get a better credit card, you know, like American Express or something that gives you a bit more for your money.
Okay. And do you have any? Do you have any insurance products
Insurance, only my phone.
on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I guess life insurance. Don't know if that counts.
Yeah.
I
So
think
you
so
have
with my
life
work.
insurance.
With my work.
Okay, so you got life insurance.
Yeah.
That's okay, and life, and that's through work.
Yeah. And then car insurance, I guess. Yeah. Now that you've asked, it all coming to me. I'm like, do I have insurance? Yeah. I do.
So I'm curious about your life insurance. So who do you hold it with? Do you know?
Oh, I actually don't.
Don't know. Okay.
No. I think I have one with my bank and
But so you're just your life insurance?
yeah, I think I have. I'm pretty sure I have one with my bank and my
Oh,
work.
so you got two.
I think so because I think it comes in like a package with my bank, but it's not
Okay.
anything I've like really looked into properly.
Why do you have two policies out of curiosity?
It just came with the package
Okay.
with my bank, and then it just comes with my work. So when I signed up to all the benefits of my work, it's just something I said, okay, cool.
Okay. And kind of what's your knowledge on life insurance? What's your understanding of it?
0 to none. It's just something that I've had like friends pass away, young people pass away, so I always thought it's something good to just have there. But I've never really looked into the products at all. I just kind of have it.
Do you know like what the concept of it is?
In case you die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like to fund, I guess I don't know if it covers like end of life sort of stuff as well. Like if you was to have anything terminal, I'm not too sure, but I know that mostly it's kind of funeral costs. I know it would just help out my family if anything was to happen.
It's a really cheery conversation, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's what it is.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so that's kind of or my definition I made up, well, didn't make up, but wrote was, pays a lump, life insurance pays a lump sum benefit up to 250k if you die up to the age of like 65. So you obviously got this through your package and through your work, so you kind of aren't really paying for it directly, are you? But
no.
how much would you say you took out a policy, kind of say on your own? How much would you expect to pay?
At this age, I wouldn't know I'm kind of a researcher, so if I was looking into it, I would go on something like a comparison website and kind of see what everything has. But I wouldn't expect it to be more than, I don't know, I wouldn't expect it to be more than £10 a month for someone my age, because you don't really expect us to die, I guess.
You're under 30, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so, yeah. Be preferable if you didn't.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay. And how would you feel about taking that out through kind of a credit card or a bank?
Yeah, impartial.
Yeah.
Wouldn't really matter to me who I take it out with.
Okay. And if it was offered to you for £15 a month, how would you feel?
I'd have to do research, because I literally don't know the boundaries of it. I'm quite like a researcher when it's stuff that I actually want to pay for in its own.
Yeah, that's fine. What kind of information would you expect that you would need to supply in order to kind of take out a policy?
Who would I expect the insurance to supply me?
Say you're taking out your policy, and they always get asked loads of information. What would you expect that you would have to supply them with?
Oh, like my personal information. Yeah. Oh, I know it's stuff like health information, lifestyle information, obviously your general personal information, date of birth, address, etc. Generally health, doctor stuff.
Okay. And how would you feel if, say, you did this with your bank and then you were contacted by a broker? How would you feel about dealing with a broker for insurance?
So a broker would put me into contact with different life insurance.
So say you see that the bank are offering a policy, so you kind of start that process, and then you're contacted by a broker, and then a broker will deal with getting the insurance and taking your details and stuff like that.
Do they tend to only work with one life insurer?
They will work with one life insurer, yeah.
I wouldn't really mind, because I guess that would just be a representation of that life insurance place.
Okay, fabulous. So, I'm gonna look at something on the app now. Let's get this set up. Actually, I want the right thing. There we go. Perfect.
Cool.
That's grand. If you could just keep it kind of
right where it is.
No, a wee bit further towards you. Sorry. Yeah, spot on. Yeah. Just kind of don't move it past kind of here.
Okay.
It's not a shot.
Where that you go.
So I'd now like you to imagine that a couple of months ago you applied for your Almo credit card. Application went fine, and you've been using it for some time now, kind of making everyday transactions as you would. So you just one day want to log in to view your account. So you can log in from here.
So I've already got an account.
You've already got an account. So look at the accounts page, kind of talk me through it, what you're thinking. It's a fully interactive prototype, so feel free to kind of explore around.
The interface reminds me of my Aqua interface, which is probably the credit card I use the most, just in being able to scroll through your products, and you can see your credit straight away in the middle of the screen, which is going to be the most important thing to look at, and your balance, and then your transactions straight underneath, so you don't have to look too far for them. There's not too much on the screen that is overwhelming, which is nice. Next steps are pretty obvious. You've got the side panel, which would give you expansion to everything else, and then I saw this manage button here, so anything else I want to edit, any details, or more or less what I would expect. Also reminds me a bit of Monzo as well, actually, with the freeze card and the card details, which is a nice clean. It feels clean. what is my objective right now? Am I just like
You just have an explorer, just
exploring through? Are these okay? So I've got a debit card and a credit card with both of them. So transfer money. I can see everything that's going on. So I would say, well, I don't know if it looks like this just because there's not a lot of transactions, but if there were more, like if I'd been using it for a while, you would just keep scrolling through, and then you'd be able to search per month.
What do you think?
It doesn't seem like you can search for the month. It looks like you can search for the company. So I said British Airways.
But you would expect to search for the month as well?
Yeah, like a sort of shortcut to go per month.
Okay.
In beginning stages, obviously, it wouldn't be very necessary, but if you was using it all the time, like a couple purchases a day, it's going to get a bit overwhelming if you need to go back to search for something and you're not too sure when it was.
Okay. So we can look at the accounts page. You mentioned obviously the available credit, balance. Sorry, I'm just going to turn those. They keep flashing up off. Come on, where are you? That one. Okay, well, sorry. So you mentioned available credit and your balance. What's your understanding of balance?
How much you have left.
How much you've left? Yeah,
or is it how much you've... If I knew if it was my product, I would know how much that I had, so I'd be able to distinguish it. But I would assume your balance is either... No, available credit would be what you have left, and balance would be how much you could spend altogether.
Okay. Yeah, so balance is how much money you've spent. Yeah.
Okay. A balance, how much you've already spent.
What did you think it was?
I thought... No, now that I've looked at it, available credit is obviously what you have left to spend, and I would assume balance is how much you have in total for the month to spend every month.
Do you think it's your credit limit?
Yeah, that.
Okay.
Yeah, that.
Okay. So balance is how much money you have spent.
Balance is how much you can spend altogether, your credit limit.
For this instance, it's how much you have spent. So how much money you've spent on the card.
Oh, you're telling me what it is now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
How much I have spent.
Yeah.
And then I've got £870 left. Oh, okay, yeah, that does make sense. Yeah, so I'd have £2,000. Yeah. Do you know what? Because I'm not too sure how much the credit score was. I was like, okay, not credit score. How much credit limit I had? I was like, I'm not too sure. But if I knew that I have £2,000, it would be quite obvious that that's what I've spent, and then that's how much I have left to spend, sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so where do you think you would find out what your credit limit is, or how much you use of your credit limit?
I would first check manage and see what's there. But this seems to be like actionable things rather than kind of like your details or personal details. So when it's not there, I'd go back straight away and go onto here, and then go onto account, and then it's not there. So I would check legal documents, but I wouldn't. It feels a bit exasperating to go through legal documents because it seems like it's going to be, it's not giving me the information straight up. It feels like I'm going to have to search a lot for it. But I would check it, but I'd be like, it's going to be a bit of a long one to do. But the credit agreement is there.
So I don't think any of them are interested.
Oh, actually works. So I would check credit agreement there.
Okay. So if you go back to the accounts page, did you see the credit breakdown button?
I didn't pay attention to it, no.
Yeah, okay. What do you think would be under there?
Credit breakdown. Perhaps how much interest is down there.
So how much interest you have?
Yeah. Can I click it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So what's happening here?
The credit breakdown. Spending this period, so this would be all like the depths of information, so the credit, the pending, the spending this period, so that would mean from the cut-off point, right, where you get your credit score, repayments of things that you've already paid in there prior to maybe any direct debit that you have taken out automatically, and then your minimum payment and your due date. So basically everything that's important is down there.
Okay.
But I definitely didn't notice it straight away.
If we could go back onto it,
Mm-hmm.
how do you feel about, if you go back on, sorry, go back
onto this, yeah.
Actually work, there we go. How do you feel about the kind of buttons at the bottom?
Add to calendar and make a payment.
Mm-hmm.
I think the add to calendar is actually a good option. I don't know if my current credit providers offer that, but I've never seen it if they do. So a good reminder, but I do have everything taken out like in full on a direct debit, so it's not something that I need. But I think if you are someone who pays it off, I think this is really useful. Make a payment, it gives you that option twice so that you know definitely how to make the payment. I think that's quite important because when you do want to make the payment and you just got some money and you want to pay off a big amount, you want to do that quickly, you don't have to search for it. So yeah, I think that would be good.
Okay, so
Custom amount, full
talk me through
balance.
what's happening here.
How much you want to pay. So if you've got the custom, you change that from 20, though this is the full amount, which is different from what's on the other screen actually. So
Sorry, yes.
is that just like a
details might-
glitch?
yeah,
Oh, okay, cool. And then the minimum amount, yeah, I think that's quite obvious what's kind of going on.
Okay. Can you tell me about the kind of bits of information that you're saying besides the number, so the financial wellbeing tips? What do you think of those?
Financial well-being and paying more will help to reduce your interest costs over time. New Balance. Oh, so again, don't pay attention to the number of like the New Balance and stuff.
Yeah. So it'll just be, they need to add up.
Okay,
They
well
have
it
that.
is. Okay, that's fine.
It's kind of dummy data.
So it would showcase how much I would have left after I paid the minimum amount.
Correct.
Okay, cool. Yeah, good to see you paying more. So I guess.
Sorry, how much you'd still need to pay.
Yeah. Yeah. This would be good. This is good. I think other products that I have similar things. I do tend to not pay too much attention to it, but I think if you're first using it and maybe if you don't have that much experience with like credit, it's like another point for you to think, I'm gonna have to pay this off at some point. So if I can pay off more, I will pay off more.
Why would you pay attention to it?
Because I already have my idea of how much I'm going to pay off.
Yeah.
So I already know what I want to pay off, if I want to pay the bare minimum because I'm struggling this month, or if I can pay off more because I've got a bit extra money. I already have my intention.
Okay. So let's say you want to pay £20 towards your bill.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you do next?
Go on custom amount. I would keep the 20. Go on done.
You just press the keypad. Sorry, it's just
Oh, okay. Yeah, press the 20. Got done. New Balance. You need to pay £30 before the 5th to cover your minimum payment. This is good, so that you can keep track of it, even if you're just putting little amounts on. I do like this because sometimes I pay off little amounts, which is less than. I don't pay minimum payment. I pay in full, but it will be less than that. So it's good to kind of keep track of how much is still going, how much you still have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Select payment method. I'd have my accounts there. Yeah.
So let's say you want to use a new account for this instant.
So I go on new account. Be able to add all my things in. I would save it for future.
So, yeah, you don't want to save it this time.
And then confirm. Yeah.
So how'd you find that process?
Yeah, nice and easy.
Okay.
Really easy. There's only a couple steps to do.
Okay. Okay. If we go back to the accounts page, is there anywhere else you'd like to explore?
Insights.
Okay. So what's happening here?
Oh, okay. So again, reminds me of Monzo in just the breakdown of what you're spending on, which I think is really useful. I think it's a useful thing, but I don't really see in other products, so this is good. And then you can scroll by month, which is, I would assume this goes by month on a monthly basis, which is good because that's the kind of similar thing that I would have been looking for with the statements,
Mm-hmm.
just to scroll by month. Weekly subscriptions and all times. I don't know what all times would mean. Would that mean from the beginning of me opening the credit card?
What do you think it would be?
I would assume it would be from the beginning of opening the credit card.
Okay. Is there any other more information you'd expect to see here?
In insights, no. I think it could. I don't know. This is. I like this. This kind of layout is different. Is different and interesting. I think I would have expected something like this to be more in like a bar chart sort of layout, but I don't know how that would have spread across the screen. But this gives you a good like visual of it. I think maybe one thing that would be good would to be all times. If that does show everything, then I would assume it would show maybe in a bar chart kind of form how much you spent each month with these kind of blocks, and you can see if it's increased or decreased over the last few months. That would be really good.
So the categories within all the months.
Yeah. So you can see your spending habits.
Yeah. So you select one of the categories, say online purchase. Yeah. So how do you feel about seeing this sort of information?
Yeah, good. I would assume that I'd be able to like hold on to what I would then try to do is hold on to something, and just in case it's gone into the wrong category, which can sometimes happen, I'd be able to move it into the correct category just by holding down.
Okay. So you're able to change the category.
Yeah.
So you mentioned also about the layout. Can you tell me what you think the size of the kind of sections mean?
Just like in comparison, proportionally how much you spend in each one.
Okay.
So I can see that 32 is the smallest amount, 620 is the largest amount. So most of them are online purchases. Okay.
So you mentioned obviously again you would expect to see a bar chart. Where would your preference be between kind of something like a bar chart or a graph or something like this?
This I think is good for this screen, and then like I said, the all times one I think would be better as a bar chart, because if I'm trying to see monthly, there's nothing to compare to really. But if I'm on all times, I would want to see the comparison to how much I've been spending in the last few months versus the first few months or the next few months, for example. I'll say one thing is this last one is really bright. I think this last screen is really, really bright, but that might just be me.
Okay. So you want to do, like, when you go to all times, you want to see a comparison kind of across all the months?
Yeah.
Okay. How would you use a feature like this?
Just to be able to track. So if I was using my credit card as what I'm trying to spend off mostly all the time, then I would use it to make sure that I'm not going over budget on certain things like entertainment, and so that I can plan my spending.
Okay.
And I think it would be good for money management. Again, this all times kind of feature, to see if I am increasingly spending more on entertainment, which I think would be useful if I was to get a credit limit increase, for example. So it would be like lifestyle increase. I'd be able to track if I'm doing too much or if it's remaining pretty stable.
Okay. So if you go back to the accounts page, could you show me how you would find out more information on a transaction you've made? So you want to find out more information on a transaction you made in Burgerland. So how do you feel about the information provided here?
Amount, the date, and the location. I don't recognise this payment. The category. Yeah, I think it answers all the questions. It's very clean. There's not extra stuff that you don't really need to know. Thinking what other reason would I need to? No, I'd want to know where I spent it. Would this be exactly where I've spent it, or would this be? I don't know. Sometimes they provide the location of where the retailer is, like their business location, as opposed to where you've actually spent it. So
what would you want to see?
I would want to see where I've spent it, because that would be what would make me remember. But sometimes they have the address of or the business name of another business, which can be a bit confusing.
Okay.
But I don't think I've ever seen anyone do a map. So I actually quite like this, because it shows everything that's nearby, so you can be like, oh, that was that night out where I was drunk and we were in St. Paul's, and that's why I don't remember that payment.
Pop world.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It's all dark downhill from Pop World.
I don't know if it's possible to do time, because I don't know if I've seen that before. But
Okay.
if it was possible to do time, that would be useful.
Time as well.
Time of transaction, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to look at something a bit different now. Sorry, just need to reset it for you. Okay, there we go. So I want you to imagine, this is a different scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to imagine that you have a credit card repayment coming up, and you normally make your repayments manually via the Onmo app. So you received this notification, but you're currently unable to pay. So could you tell me what you think this notification is telling you?
It's telling me that it's due tomorrow, so I think if I don't pay it, then it's going to reflect negatively on my credit score. That's what I would assume straight away.
Okay, so is there anything else that you'd like to see that would ensure you make your payments on time, just in general? So what kind of columns would you expect, etc.?
What, in this notification?
Just in general. I mean, as a whole, as like a whole service. So like,
okay.
what would you like to see that would help you
to remind you?
Yeah, to help you make sure that you make your payment.
I think reminders. So I think one maybe say 5 days before, 3 days before, and then one on the day, and then even one maybe if it still hasn't been paid closer to the time. So maybe like 11 p.m. before the due day would actually be, or on the due day, would be good. So not that it's overwhelming, but that there's enough reminders, because something like this, say I had a screen literally like this, I'm going to click on the message first and answer that message, and I'll leave the notification there for later. So it would be good to get reminder notifications.
Okay, yeah, so so you're always going to pick another notification over it. Is there any other columns you would expect to get from your credit card provider?
As in just on the phone?
Just in general, like
maybe a text message.
Okay.
Yeah. A text message, but only the day before when it's kind of getting close. I wouldn't want a text message the week before, 3 days before, etc.
So you're going to text maybe the day before.
Yeah, like text would be like, or on the day, would be like, oh okay, it needs to happen now.
Okay. So you click the notification. So could you tell me how much you owe and when it needs paid?
I owe 1,130, and it needs to be paid whatever tomorrow is.
So how do you think you'd confirm that information?
I would check my statement.
Okay.
It would be good to have a due date on this screen so that I don't have to search for it, because then it means every time I look at it I'm kind of getting reminded of the day.
So what about within credit breakdown?
Due date 18th of the, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. So at least it's there and I know when it's due to be paid. But I think where there is a lot of space, it might be good to have like a little reminder somewhere. I think this credit breakdown really gets overlooked because it gets overpowered by the make a repayment button. Probably because the button's like bold, has bold colours, or has an actual button around it.
Okay. So I'm just gonna do this. Okay. So some days have passed and you're still not able to pay your bill. You're, like I said, you were due to pay yesterday, but you open your phone and you see this notification. So what's happening here?
They've told me, yeah, it's overdue now. So I would assume that there might be some sort of implication to my credit score at this point, and that, yeah, there's going to be interest applied if I haven't paid it all off.
Okay. So what would you do? Like, let's say you can't make a repayment at this moment in time.
I can't make a repayment.
You can't make a repayment.
I would keep the notification there as a reminder, because I wouldn't want to forget. And yeah, I would just leave it there and then ask for some loans or if I have to wait until payday, I'd wait until payday. Or I think usually there's like support helplines, so it depends how severe my situation is at the time. But I know sometimes there's support helplines. If you can't afford this, then contact us on support and we can see how we can help you. So if it was severe, I would look at something like that.
So if you select the notification,
Okay.
so what is this telling you?
Credit cards. So it's different from my normal screen, so I'm going to pay attention to it straight away. Your credit card's monthly payment is overdue. A late payment fee will be charged in 5 days. Okay, so I have 5 days, which is a bit relieving because I would have thought that actually I'd get a late payment fee straight away. So if there's a late payment fee only in 5 days, at least it gives me a bit of leeway and I know that I can do it. But I think it's good that it's not told that I have that. How do I say this? I think it's good that information isn't in the notification, because then I would kind of be more inclined to ignore it because I'm like, okay, I've got another 5 days. So it kind of creates a bit of panic. But then I go in here and I'm like, okay, cool, I've got a bit of time.
Okay. So you would ignore it if you saw that 5 days?
Yeah, I'd be more like, yeah, because it's not tomorrow now. It's now, my deadline is actually in 5 days' time.
Okay. Okay, so if we hit this one. So again, more days pass and you're still not able to pay your bill. So what do you think this notification is telling you, and what would you expect to see when you open and you select on the notification?
I would either expect it to go back to the same page it was on beforehand, but in that red section there would be a link directly to support, or it would go onto a page directly to repayment, or on a page directly to support. But with the support page, it would still have an option to pay straight away, kind of like very close at the bottom.
Okay.
Should I click it?
So so you'd like, just want to go off the back of that. So you'd like to see a link to support. It's kind of same style. At what stage would you think to contact the bank?
At this stage.
At this stage,
yeah. Yeah, or maybe if this was the last day, maybe like a day before this, like if I know that I'm not going to get money in these next few days, it would have been, yeah, around that time, ASAP. I think I probably would have contacted before even seeing this message, just because of how I am.
Okay.
And just seeing if there's anything. But one thing that does make me nervous about contacting for support is that there's a thought that it might impact my credit score because I've asked for help. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's like a thought that has always come into my mind, that maybe that's something could be put on my file, that I've asked for support.
So you think that if you call for support, it'll impact your credit score?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
It's not that I think it will definitely happen, but I'd be cautious of it, because you're basically saying that usually when you contact them, if it's specifically not just support, like I'm having an issue with a transaction, but support of we're happy to help sort of support if you're having money problems, you're speaking to the people who are lending you money and telling them I'm having money problems. So because they're the people lending you the money, they could put it maybe on your account and say, okay, this person cannot always handle their payments. So
so have you hit the notification? So is this what you expected?
Yeah. Tell us if you can't pay now, make a repayment right there, yeah.
So, sorry, no, I was going to ask a question but it doesn't apply here. So how much do you think your late repayment fee is? And where would you find that out?
If I was to predict, I think it's like by day. So it's either like a percentage of the debt by day, or it would be like £10 per day or something like that. I would try credit breakdown again to see how much the late fee would be. Okay. Yeah, that's the only thing. And if I couldn't find it in there, then I'd have to go into like legal documents. Is it not working? Yeah. Interest, minimum payment. I would click the I to see if like there's any other information on the late fee kind of getting added to the interest. Okay. But where I see this 2 days overdue, I think because it would be nice because there is space for it for like information of what the late payment is.
Okay. So you want to see what the late payment is?
Yeah, or what it could be. So if it said, oh, you know, in 3 days, in 1 day, your late payment will be this per day or this percentage.
Okay. So if you just exit, go back to the accounts page, and then just go there. Okay, so again, you find yourself in some real financial difficulty and you're not able to pay any of your bills this month.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think you will see when you click on this, and what's your kind of understanding of this notification?
Your account has gone into arrears. This will adversely affect your credit score. Please get in touch if you're struggling to make a payment. I would expect it to go to the same page as before, really.
Okay.
With like a message in that red bit saying, reinforcing your account is currently in arrears. You know, contact us.
Okay. What's your understanding of the word arrears?
It means that there's money owed that's gone over the date of when it was supposed to be paid back.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, if you hit the...
Your account's been locked. My heart would break. Your account is in arrears now. Your account has been locked. Do you know what? It's probably a good thing. I think it would stress me, but at least it would be stressful. But at least I can't spend any more, and I can't bring myself further into debt. But it would be stressful if I can't pay my bills and I don't owe money,
Mm-hmm.
and I still can't borrow more, especially if I knew that maybe there was money coming in 5 days, 10 days. So I know I would just be able to have to cover the late fee, but yeah, I would still need to spend and borrow money for that time.
Okay. So at this stage, your account's locked. What do you think your options are?
Please get in touch with us. That's the only, I guess, make a repayment or get in touch. I think that's it.
And what kind of support do you think Almo could offer, or any credit card provider?
I've never actually thought they would be able to do anything. I thought that maybe if you spoke to someone on a case-by-case basis, they might be able to unlock your account in this case for maybe like an extra day if you explain that you have bills due on this day or something like that. But I wouldn't even expect that to be a thing. I wouldn't really have any expectations on what they would do to help. I think it would be more so transparency, so they know what's happening, and so that my account doesn't get closed down, for example.
So what kind of support, if you rang for support, what do you think they would do to help you in this instance? Do you think, if anything?
I honestly wouldn't expect a lot. I think that maybe there would be like money management sort of help, and then at max, yeah, again, they might unlock the account for a day, or they might allow something, and then maybe just give me like verbal advice on maybe decreasing my credit limit or how to manage it in future. I wouldn't expect that they would really be able to help me there and then. I would be pleasantly surprised if they were able to help me there and then.
So if they were able to offer you kind of a payment plan and with an affordability, how would you feel about that?
Yeah, that's again what I would expect a bit. Would that mean that my account would get opened up again and then it's like a slow payment plan? That's the question I would ask.
Okay, so and how much do you think you would need to pay to get your account open up again at this stage?
The minimum amount plus the late fee.
Okay. How do you think you would find that information out?
The credit breakdown. Okay, yeah, cool. So late payment fee is there. And then it says total debt to clear account. So I'd hope that doesn't mean that I actually have to pay that to get the account unlocked. But yeah, because minimum payment has now isn't there anymore. So I would be anxious and think that they want me to pay the whole 1,320 plus the 42.
What would you do in that instance?
Call them straight away and be like, I can't pay that. If they could allow me to kind of go back to minimum payment plus the 42 and I'll add some money on top and then continue as I was doing so before.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, so um, and what would you expect to happen? Let's say, for an instance, you just ignored all the texts, all the phone calls, and the notifications, and you continue to owe money. What do you think would happen?
You're gonna get a CCJ, no? I don't know if that's even what it goes straight to, but I know that there'll probably be like some legal action, or I know your credit score would go all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
And I expect to get letters, kind of warning letters of, okay, you need to pay this, otherwise this is the consequence. This is the consequence. You have this amount of time, otherwise this is the consequence. But also saying like, you know, if you need help, contact us, and making it very clear that it's not contact us so that we can get our money, but contact us so that we can help you, using that sort of language.
And how did you find the kind of language of the messages and notifications in this process?
Yeah, I think the contact us was very. Can I go back?
Oh yeah. So if you just you should be able to. There we go.
Even this.
Yeah, so you can flick through them there as well. So.
Okay, cool.
And then if you press just where the battery is, it'll take you through the next notification.
Oh, the battery?
Yeah.
Okay. Your credit card's been late fee recharged. It's very clear. You know exactly what's going on. I think it might be good to like maybe even do 5 days in bold, so that you really see like it's 5 days. Back again. No payment fee. Tell us if you can't pay now. Yeah, I think it doesn't feel too intimidating. Tell us if you can't pay now. It doesn't feel like that contact us. Contact us feels a bit abrupt because you don't know what you're contacting them for. You don't know if you're going to get yourself deeper in trouble if you're not too familiar with credit scores and stuff, credit cards. But yeah, tell us if you can't pay now it's a very clear, direct. I can't pay now, so it's over to you.
Mm-hmm.
This will adversely affect your credit score. Yeah, lets you know what's happened, what's going to happen, and again, telling you to please. I think the please makes a difference as well, because it's kind of like we actually are trying to help you, so it feels more friendly, personal.
Okay.
Your account has been for 10 days now, hence your account has been locked. Yeah, tells you what's happened and gives you a reason for it, so it doesn't feel too aggressive either. Yeah, I think it's friendly.
Okay, perfect.
I think, just random as well, I think that the colours are...
Took the words out of my mouth, I was about to ask you about that.
Oh, really? The colours aren't like nicer because they're not too aggressive. So the fact that this is like a washed out red or a pink rather than a red, because red is very like it makes you panic and feel like, oh, this is really, really bad. This is kind of like, this is an error, and it's a problem that you need to address, but it's not the end of the world. It's not like in your head. And depending on what type of person you are, you might just close the app again if you're quite avoidant from seeing stuff like that. So yeah, I think the colours are nice. Calming.
Non-triggering.
Yeah.
Okay, fab. That is everything on that section. If we could I'm just going to take you back to here. So, could I ask you just how you feel about kind of the colours and the brand and the kind of overall design?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. It's very clear again. There's a lot of what do you call it, like space around it, so it feels very clear. And then yeah, it's got a continuous theme. I think purple is a nice like kind of colour where it feels official but also like modern as well. And I think even things like the fonts feel quite friendly and modern.
What do you think about the card designs?
Yeah, they're nice. They're nice. Again, modern. I don't really care too much for like the card designs. I guess when it does look nice, I'm like, oh, this is a nice card. But again, I have like a Monzo, which is like a bright pink. It's not like particularly classy or like smooth like this, so it doesn't bother me too much. But it matches the theme in here, and it looks quite. To be honest, it looks quite deluxe. I like black cards. I think they look a bit more deluxe. So
Okay.
would it actually be blurred on this side, or is that like blurring out the?
No,
information?
yeah, it's like that. It's
Oh,
designed
okay,
like
cool.
that, so
Okay,
it's
cool.
meant to be like blurred on one side.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I like it. I think the only thing that I had to say about the colours was when I went on this Insights, I didn't like these colours too much.
Okay. Why not?
This green is like it's very bright. Like I think it's way too bright. It kind of makes it feel like this is more important. Well, I guess it is more important because you're spending more on it, but I don't think they like complement each other and go with the app. Like this is probably the one that contrasts with the purple the most.
Okay.
I think the first three are fine. The yellow is okay, and yeah, this would probably be better as like a.
Yeah, the yellow and green kind of.
Yeah, the yellow's okay. It wouldn't really trigger me, but this green, I would straight away be like, that's way too bright. There's no need for it to be like that. I think I would even look at the settings and see if I could change like the theme.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Just a couple of questions just to round up. So again, how would you describe your overall experience with the app we looked at today?
Yeah, I think it was pretty easy. I think the things that I did struggle with, like credit breakdown, I don't think it would have taken me too long to find it. Again, I think it would be better if it was like highlighted the same as make a repayment or in a similar way, even if it was like lighter. But other than that, everything that I needed to see, if I was going on my credit card, I need to break it. I need to see what I've spent on. I want to see my statement. I want to make a repayment. I want to see when it's due is pretty easy to see. The only thing, again, I would say is making the due date a bit more obvious, I guess.
Okay.
But it's more or less what I would expect from an app. I've had worse apps. So, yeah, I think they're kind of following the same sort of theme nowadays.
Okay. And how would you describe your kind of overall experience looking at this?
Yeah, easy, clean. If I wasn't thinking about how to improve it or like wasn't being so conscious of it, I wouldn't really have that much to say apart from the colouring schemes. But yeah, pretty familiar. It has a familiar feel.
Okay.
I do like dark themes, so I think if anything, I would hope that there was like a option to make it into like a dark theme so that it's black instead of white.
Mm.
But it wouldn't be like a must, like, oh, I need this.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me before we wrap up? Or
No.
no?
No.
Yeah, that was really, really beneficial. Thank you very much.
Cool, I'm glad.
So what will happen next is your incentive will be sent to your email address.
Cool.
But finance will have to do that, not me. So that'll be no later than Friday.
Okay, so it's
Friday
pretty quick.
afternoon, so you got it before the weekend.
Cool.
But yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. I will walk it down. So restart this.
What do you tend to like expect from these sorts of?
We just
interactions?
honestly get feedback and so how we can kind of like improve the design, how we can make it more understandable. That's kind of, and it's really beneficial because this hasn't been developed yet. This is still a design prototype.
Okay.
So then if we do the testing at this stage, then like you're not spending